Namaste. My name is Kirti, and on behalf of Himalayan Yoga Association, I welcome you all to this online teacher training course. I am a teacher here at Himalayan Yoga Association, and I will be taking you through the concepts and details of the human body and yoga altogether. Let's hope you enjoy this course. Let's start.
Namaste and welcome back to the online yoga teacher training course. In today's video, we are going to discuss the various obstacles of the mind anytime you're trying to sit and meditate. Now, consider that these obstacles are not the obstacles that come up when you're trying to sit down to meditate, but the obstacles of the mind once you sit down and then try to meditate. But before we go ahead and do that, we are going to chant the Gayatri Mantra like how we always do before the beginning of every class. So simply sit straight with your spine erect, shoulders roll to the back, activate any mudra of your choice and question your posture while you're here. Fix the adjustments, the alignment of the body, and once you think you're ready physically, allow yourself to immerse in your breath effortlessly and continuously. Even though there may be a lot of thoughts coming up in your head, but you do not need to be disturbed by those. Simply bring your attention back to your breath and observe how these thoughts, they fade away in an instant. After a few deep inhalations and exhalations, gently bring your hands in front of your chest in Namaskara Sthiti. Touch the heart center with the back of your thumbs without disturbing your posture or opening your eyes. We are going to chant the Gayatri Mantra. If you know the mantra, you can chant it with me. Otherwise, you can always repeat it afterwards. Simply breathe in once. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Having absorbed the vibration and effect of the mantra, let's generate some energy between our hands by rubbing our palms against each other. Now, after you feel this energy, cover your eyes with your palms. Massage your face, the back of your neck, and anywhere else you wish to transfer this energy to. Once again, before you expose your eyes to direct light, fold your palms, bow down to your fingertips, and with a few blinks, very gently open your eyes again. Welcome back. So, a lot of times you must have heard people telling you that they cannot meditate at all. They try to meditate, but they're not able to meditate because the mind is too active. Well, the mind is obviously the instrument or the thing to control with the help of meditation. But how do you get rid of this whole state of not being able to meditate in the first place? Let's try to understand how the mind is, what states is it in, and what are the obstacles it presents in the name of every time you're trying to meditate. Usually an average person who is not very sattvic, who is not very deep into this own yogic journey, experiences for stages in the name of desires, hatred, happiness, and sadness. These are the 4 emotions that are the primary emotions of all the reactions, of all the feelings that we collect from the environment or from any information that the mind picks up from the environment itself. Now, each one of us, like I said, has n number of desires. We have so many desires. These desires, they are not just related to materialistic possessions, but they could also be about self-achievements. They could also be about, getting better at something. Desires always come up from the mind itself. Of course, these desires, they are a reward to the physical body, because this physical body gets to flaunt these achievements. But for the mind itself, just achieving these desires and adorning this physical body with those achievements is the ecstasy that keeps it going. These desires, they are never ending in the process. These desires, they, like I told you in the previous video as well, that there's always going to be a more upgraded version to your desires. No matter what you achieve in life, there's always going to be something better. You start walking and you start wishing for a bicycle. You buy a bicycle, then you start wishing for a motorcycle. You get the motorcycle, then you start wishing for a car. Then you get the car, eventually you'd start wishing for a helicopter, then an airplane, then a rocket, then you'd wish for having a home on another planet. The list is endless. To what extent are you going to stop this mind from creating desires? By being completely satisfied with what you have, how you are, and acknowledging that everything is there in this planet, in this world as it is. It is in this proper position. There is enough abundance, but for the satisfaction of, there is enough in this universe to fulfill the needs of everyone, but there is not enough in this universe to satisfy the greed of everyone. Just this realization of fact is enough for the mind to bring it to a content stage. A contentment is the trait or the characteristic of sattvicness, which is the pure state of a yogi. Not having any desires, being content with what you are, how you are, whatever you have is enough. Whether you have it, whether you don't have it, that is still going to help you go on in the process in this yogic journey, no matter what you take with you. That is, so getting rid of desires is the first thing that you need to take away from your mind. The moment you keep fueling these desires by achieving things, by buying things, by possessing more things, you are just going to plant another seed inside the mind for another new desire. So allowing yourself to be really happy. Now this won't come instantly, but of course by practicing the state of contentment again and again is going to help you. Remove this obstacle from your mind anytime you're trying to sit down to meditate. The second obstacle that we experience in ourselves, in our mind, is hatred or dukh. Hatred is a feeling, hatred is another one of these obstacles which creates so many emotions in the mind. It creates anger, it creates distance, it creates a negative feeling inside the mind and the body. This negativity starts reflecting in the expression, starts reflecting in the physical appearance. This hatred that we have towards things, towards a single person, towards an object, towards an activity is very expressive, and it all comes from the mind. Getting rid of the feeling of hatred. Similarly, one of the easiest way to get rid of the hatred itself is to create the feeling of contentment. Now, contentment is a state through which you can take control of all of these 4 emotions, all of these 4 states. Whether you're too happy, and by staying content, you can completely let go of the whole emotion of desire, of hatred, of happiness or sadness. Just I have this one personal mantra in my own head, which I usually do and use every day in my life, is that this too shall pass. In good or bad, in happy or sad, in wise or dumb, in itchy or numb, this too shall pass. So this is a situation wherein the realization is that you cannot be too happy for too long. You cannot be too sad for too long. You cannot be hating something for too long. You cannot love something for too long. You cannot have everything. You cannot not have everything at the same time. This state this thought that this too shall pass and realizing that change is the only constant in this world will help you stay content and also will help you prepare yourself for no matter what may come and create an obstacle in your mind. The third state of the mind, the third obstacle that the mind throws at you when you're trying to meditate is the state of extreme happiness. When we are extremely happy, even though it's not bad to be happy, it's not it's not a negative emotion to be happy. Happiness is a very positive thing to experience. We do so many things to remain happy. We achieve so many things to be happy. At the end of the day, happiness that comes from materialistic aspirations or achievements or desires, fulfilling your desires, is only going to be temporary happiness, and it is something which is going to be there present in an extreme situation. What I'm trying to say is any happiness which comes from achieving things will be in excess, but only for a very short amount of time. After that craze about achieving something goes away, that happiness will also go away with it. So creating a state of eternal bliss or eternal happiness is very important. That again brings us back to this whole feeling of contentment itself. If we are content, we realize that we are always happy as well. If we are content with what we are, what we have, how we are, then we realize that no emotion, no achievement, no desire can disturb our current state, which is a very self-satisfied state in itself. This state, which is somewhere considered a balanced state, which means that you're not too happy or you're not too sad, or you're not hating something, or you're not loving something. It is somewhere which is the perfectly balanced situation, which is contentment, will help you remove the fluctuations of the mind. And yoga is all about removing the fluctuations of the mind in the first place. The fourth obstacle that the mind has is sadness. When we are too sad, then it creates different emotions in our head. Negative emotions, feeling of weakness, feeling of vulnerability, feeling that we are useless. Sadness is a very bad feeling to experience, of course, and all of this feeling comes from the mind itself. The realization that this sadness, whatever it is, it's a very temporary stage and every situation is going to change one day or the other, is very important for people who experience extreme sadness on a regular basis. Please realize that nothing in this world is permanent. Everything is bound to change except for the Atman itself. Even if you lose everything, you have been given the instruments to create the same things, granted you put your mind to it. So sadness, again, a temporary state, but a constant in our lives depending on how we train the mind. All of these obstacles are basically giving power to the mind. Instead of giving power to the mind, ideally we should work on taking power from the mind itself so that we can control it how we want it. Once you train the mind into believing and into experiencing contentment every day, then it will become the constant of your mind, and then it will remove all of these obstacles that stand in your way every time you're trying to meditate. This is a very philosophical aspect in itself. I want you to think about and present your own opinion on these four obstacles. How can you get rid of these four obstacles? How can you bring a state of consistency into your mind so that it does not create these 4 obstacles. What is that one thing that you need to do in order to remove these obstacles so that you can meditate? I hope you found today's video interesting. I will see you again next time. Until then, thank you and namaste.